We'll be delving straight to the Konkomba market here in Accra. Why is it an issue? Because sanitation concerns there are raging. Residents are not happy with the state of filth, which is not only creating, a health issue, but also affecting even their livelihoods because it's driving away, traders and driving away customers, all that and more. And we'll take a look at this video. When we are back, we speak to, the reporter behind this and try and also look at the health aspects of this and more. Let's take a look at this.
Conversations about Accra's filthy state are unending, sparking debates over who's to blame, government or residents. While both sides share responsibility, countless promises to resolve the city's sanitation challenges have yielded little progress. The result? A capital still drowning in filth.
Well, the rainy season is upon us, and while people are excited generally about the coolness that it adds to the atmosphere, it is also exposing further a stark reality that is Accra's sanitation crisis. Now, have you ever wondered where the rubbish that is dumped in the drains and on the streets of Accra, just so the waters can carry it to wherever it goes? Well, this is the destination of the rubbish and filth that is dumped here. Currently, I am at the Konkomba market, which is within the Old Fadama Agbogbloshi settlement located in the Ododo constituency. This bridge I am standing on is joining the Konkomba market and the timber market. Now, the middle is where we put the spotlight, and this is the Kole. And what you can see is that this water body, or used to be a water body, is filled with rubbish to the extent that you're just seeing patches of water and the rubbish has taken over. However, concerns have been raised, health concerns have been raised about this particular situation here, from the breeding of mosquitoes to cholera, typhoid, among other illnesses. We want to engage some of the residents here and get a bigger picture of the situation here at the Konkomba market.
More time here, rain they fall always. But if you take Achimota side they go, that place, more time, rain they fall. So if rain fall that place, the rubbish all they come here. Because if you hear we the lagoon, the joints there, Achimota side they don't get the joint way, the lagoon the flow go. Unless Kwale go not here. So that one's all. If the rubbish come, if it come reach the place where they come out always, and the place where they know they come out always, because this is sloping go come some side. So that sloping that drive the rubbish they come this side.
You go to Kwale no. Ko yinu ha no ja ha no ntenso no dinso ayine di bola fere town ba abedur hana ayine aloyi na bola na abegu house ebrante e man tuntu hana bibia agogo house de bia yare ne edo so house
affected here ewom because on say yare ewom bola no go e bia bibi bola na abegua ebon e na esa man tuntum ne ayine bi.
Plastic waste dominates the city's refuse landscape. Bottles, wrappers and bags are everywhere, far outnumbering glass, metal or organic waste. This raises a crucial question: how effective is recycling in Accra?
Now, what you see behind me is a group of young men taking advantage of the situation, and they are gathering plastic bottles, plastic rubbers, and they are just trying to make benefit out of it by carrying these items to recyclers to take it up from there. So I see that you are here picking the rubbers that are here, to do recycling, right?
Yes, we pick it and we sell it. We use it to feed ourselves and take care of our life. Like, they used to buy it 1 kilo, 1 cedi. Because they say the dollar is now, the cedi is now higher and the dollar is down. But before they buy it 1 kilo, 2 cedi, now 1 kilo, 1 cedi. So people from this area, when they eat early in the morning, once they are going to work, they will carry their dustbin. They throw away it at the Korebuya water here. Once they throw away it, we will come. We are not the one that throw away it. We'll start to pick it And when we pick it, we will arrange you to go and sell it to get something to eat. They say they do rubber business, but when you pick the rubber, you reject. You say this is dirty, this is this one. They select. When you carry this one go, they will be doing guy like if you are a beggar. They will say they will buy this one 1 cedi 50 pesos 1 kilo.
So you see they do further sorting than what you go and sell.
The one that they drink, somebody drink at his house or shop and put it direct in bag that is neat, they will buy it 1 kilo 3 cedi. Why this one they throw away? And you can see robbers. We would have picked it, but when we go there, they will be telling us this is smearing. It's smearing. We will buy it 1 cedi. But think about the waste bending down before you will pick this thing to get weight. Assuming government are supporting us, I'm telling you that Ghana, all this rubber will not see it. People are ready to work to pick all this bola, but no support.
To understand how poor sanitation impacts public health, I spoke with Florence Kuchi, Director of Public Health at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
Sanitation is not just the waste we see there. Even fecal matter, how we dishandle our fecal matter, our liquid waste, is part of sanitation management. This is leading to a lot of diseases, not just diarrhea, cholera that you mentioned, typhoid fever. As I mentioned, it also have an impact on the air we breathe. Studies has it that in Ghana, annually, over 28,000 people die prematurely due to air pollution, which means that every 19 minutes, somebody is dying prematurely in Ghana. And what is causing it? Sanitation issue is one.
Florence Kuchi stressed that citizens must take greater responsibility for managing the waste they produce, even as government agencies work to improve waste systems.
Sanitation issue in the country, I will not say Ghana alone, is a collective, collaborative effort. Everyone has a role to play when it comes to sanitation issues. For instance, in Ghana, we are practicing what we call the polluter pay system. It means when you generate your waste, you must pay for it to be disposed of. Yes, you have to pay for it to be disposed of. And that is where the issue comes in. People generate waste and they refuse. They don't want to take responsibility of the waste that they are generating. And they want to push everything on government. Government cannot do everything. So it is neither government doing nor assembly doing. It is everybody's failure that we are seeing now.
She also highlighted several government interventions designed to curb the growing sanitation crisis.
Government is not sleeping over the way the country is filthy. So we have relaunched the National Sanitation Day. National Sanitation Day is compulsory for everybody. Recent one that we did, we have about 37 summonses that we have written and we are going to serve on people who did not participate in the Sanitation Day activity.
So very distressing scenes, right? And this is a sanitation problem that is fast becoming a health crisis. Chris, are you now more than convinced that we need to ban plastics in the country?
Oh, I think we should have done that a long time ago because I think when trends start, we should follow them. When major countries were doing that, we should have done that a long time ago.
But the
because we keep talking about it, but we don't do it.
But the cultural differences and even the economic wherewithal, right? Because it was expensive, would have been an added cost for businesses now to shift towards branding paper bags, doing all of these other environmentally friendly alternatives, but right? It's more expensive for businesses to have done that.
Have you gone to...
Would you have said it should have been like a gradual...
It can be a gradual thing. Have you gone to Thailand? Or which country was it? It was Malaysia or Thailand. Do you know, when they sell food to you, they actually use the wache...
The leaves.
The leaf. Mm. They actually use the leaf. And they package it so nicely. I mean, we have the leaf here, and we think, you know, it's not hygienic, it's not like this, it's not like that, but it's actually better than what we used to eat. Do you know that?
You know, see, this
because in today's world, people are talking about microplastics being harmful to us as human beings, and our foods being, stored in plastics are harming us.
even the styrofoam, right? What we usually say the takeaway packs. But to be fair, the president said that government was going to ban it. Only that we've not seen clear timelines given as to when we're going to fully and completely ban these styrofoam material, or the takeaway packs, as we call them. But you're right, they pose significant health concerns. On Sundays, when I speak to Efua Insian Nomanyo, who is a dietitian, she talks about the danger in eating from some of these plastic
Plastics,
materials,
yeah.
right? And people even go as far as heating foods in these plastic materials. And she, has been saying, or has been on a campaign saying that this is unsafe. But, this clearly is unsustainable. It's a ticking time bomb. And for me, I think that our bylaws, it's like a 360 problem, right? So the local assembly, the sanitation and environment ministry, right? The local government ministry, right? And even law enforcement, we need to find a way around this thing. I was going to say that we need a real look at our serious urban planning module, right? What are the plans we are putting in place for growing cities? Because clearly our population is growing. And some of this is the effect of a very steady growing population, right? So urban planning, how are we remodeling our cities to look at ways to effectively deal with this? And of course, recycling. So we have the Boone, and I think there's another landfill site. I would have expected that by this time of our national, lives, we would have had like a serious landfill management, engineering infrastructure, to recycle a lot of these plastics for other use. So, we need to listen to the experts too as well.
Anyway, we have Ajubi Akington on the line, who's actually the broadcast journalist that brought us this report. Let's talk to her and see what she has to say about this. Hi, Ajubi.
Hi, Chris. Hello, Jude.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. I saw you in the midst of all that, and I was saying, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. What was the feeling like being in the midst of all that?
Well, it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot to process. The stench over there was unbearable. But I mean, the work has to be done. The highlights need to be put on the pertinent issues that we're facing in society, so that policymakers can see that there is a need for change and a need for better measures to be taken to curb some of these disturbances that we see in our community. But I think that the whole report was really inspired by something that I have observed. I mean, this report is like a third report I'm doing on a series of sanitation issues that we're facing here in the capital. The first one was with the filthy situation on our streets.
Yeah.
So the major streets of Accra. I mean, if you do drive, even before this sanitation initiatives were taken to distill some of the gutters that we have in Accra and do some cleanup exercises that we saw a few weeks ago, if you drive through Accra every morning, you see that the city is dirty. And really, there are no persons that are allocated to say, hey, let's clean these streets early in the morning. Let's make sure that this place is looking presentable. So majority of the streets we had in Accra was very filthy. And that was the first report that was putting a spotlight on the streets in Accra and the filthy situation. The second one was an observation that I made. Recently, I did a report on the Lima Paloma storm drain, which is under the Garrett project. And a major concern that was raised by the contractors that were working on this particular project was that as the rains are coming, they're unable to work adequately because the rains end up carrying silt from wherever and they are dumped at the project sites that they are working. So every now and then it means that the place is getting flooded because, I mean, the rubbish is getting the place soaked, so they're unable to work on the construction. And every time they have to clean the place, which was a very serious issue. And I've come across videos on social media that every time it rains, you see that water is moving, but it's not just water. On the surface of the water, you are seeing plastics. And I'm sure you yourself You've also seen this disturbing trend, plastics on the surface of the water. And my question was, I mean, where is this being dumped? What is the end point of the plastics that we're seeing moving with the water every now and then? Then it brought up the idea to visit the Konkomba market, because this is a major drain, and the water that we see, you see some passing through the Numa Paloma storm drain around, and even around Asylum down that enclave. And Konkomba market has, just on the side of it is where the Koli lies, just in between the Konkomba market and the Accra Timber market. And you see that when it flows there, it gets stuck. It doesn't even get the opportunity to flow directly into the sea, right? Now, the water has been soaked completely to the extent that you just see patches of water and you are not seeing the water itself. You just see silt. So if this is what we're seeing in the lagoon, you can imagine what is being pushed into the sea and the destruction it's causing to the ecosystem in the sea. So that's what really the issue is about, Chris.
Yeah. Speaking to the guy, he made mention that was actually a water body, but now it seems like the trash has taken all over it and built its own whatever that it has built. But at the end of the day, I want to ask, how long did it take for all this to get to this point?
Well, it's something that has been there. Well, speaking to the residents who are there and the workers, for the past 15 years, this is the situation that they have been seeing. So it's not something that started today. It's an issue that has been coming. I mean, it's something that has been coming because people are dumping indiscriminately and they are just throwing their waste anyhow. They are not taking responsibility for the waste that they are generating. So what they care about is, I mean, my frontage, the frontage of my house, the frontage of my office is clean. So the rubbish I'm dropping on the street is not really my concern. But it is a concern because it is being dumped somewhere that you can't see. So you feel like, oh, there's not a challenge, but there is a challenge. So it's been long coming, right? And another concern that we're seeing is that, you see, I spoke to one guy who is like a waste collector.
Yes.
An informal waste collector, I mean. And he was just there with his bare hands, picking the rubbish from the lagoon, which I found very disturbing. But I mean, he was trying to solve the issue to an extent. But we don't have recycling systems in Ghana. If you visit other countries, you see that they have 3 bins, one for glass, one for plastic, and then one for organic waste. We don't have that in Ghana. Every type of rubbish is dumped in a bin because it's a bin. And it's a very disturbing trend, Chris.
Right.
Interesting. I'm concerned, right, because we understand that this is very close to a market. Is that correct?
Yes, it is close to the market. So the Agbogbosi, Konkomba lane, all of that, they are on that strip. And
on that stretch, we could also see some shacks along the edges, and I believe these are like places where people stay. Is that also correct?
Yes, so people stay there.
Wow.
For business and commercial. Dude, I even saw somebody preparing food there and selling it. So
you don't mean it?
I'm very serious. Someone is selling banku with, the soup and stew and selling it. People are actively consuming that food. You can imagine the amount of filth they are consuming, and they are unbothered. Like, they are so not bothered about it.
That's serious.
They are living there comfortably, and yet they complain that we are falling sick, we're getting diarrhea, we're being infected with malaria, cholera, and what have you. But if you're living in a place like this and nothing is being done about it, I mean, this is expected.
The health professional you spoke to also mentioned that in some instances, these persons who live in these shacks ease themselves and just dump it in this improvised landfill.
Exactly.
Is that a case?
Yes. So you even see them open defecation being practiced. I did see a man that was openly defecating when we got there. They just walk from wherever they came, that they are coming from, and they just come there, squat, and do it. When you ask them, like, oh, it gives us free air, so that's what we like to do. But that's not the right way to go, dude. That is not the right way.
In your report, did you come across or engage the local assembly, the municipal assembly? Did you reach out to them for their thoughts around this emerging problem?
I was unable to reach them, but I did speak to the youth and opinion leaders that were there, and they said that they had constantly reached out to the assembly to come and help out with the situation they were facing there. Now, the youth leader made me understand that when you tell them to come and help curb the problem, they come, they dredge a part of it as though they are working on the situation fully, but they never complete it. But then their issue is that, I mean, for how long will we keep dredging? For how long will we keep trying to curb the situation? Because in as much as they are contributing to the filth, they are also complaining that the filth is coming from places like Achimota and flowing there. So it's like their area is like the last stop for the filth. So it's a two-way problem. Residents themselves that we're in Accra, and also a systemic failure from the government or the systems that are in charge to address this issue.
See, thank you so much for your time and your commitment towards, telling the stories and doing the hard work of bringing the issues out. We are so grateful that I could join us this morning, Ajubi, who's done a lot. She actually also did another report on mentally, unstable persons, on our streets and all of that. So great stuff.
The Konkomba market and its issue on sanitation and how it's affecting the people around there and what can be done. So we spoke to Ajubi, who actually gave us an insight of what it looks like and also how it all started and how it's going. But right now, very soon we'll actually be speaking to Florence Kuchi, who is the Director of the Public Health at the AMA. But from what we saw, Jude, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I have so many questions. And one thing I would also like to add to everything, I feel like some of the causes that have brought us to this point is our behavioral factor, lack of community participation in adequate health education and sanitation practices. I think people are not very educated on issues concerning sanitation and its impact on our health. So I feel like if the people were aware, the whole community will participate in keeping their area neat. For the fact that they can even cook in that area and sell, and someone that has a brain will walk up to the person selling there and say, I want to buy. Then it shows that there's a problem.
There's a saying that says, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right?
And some people like those food, like those foods. They say it's sweeter.
They've grown up their whole lives there. That is all that they know, right? It will shock you to know that for some, they wake up in the morning, even like sweep around, forgetting that there's a bigger landfill right behind your shack or behind that kiosk where you are staying in. And it's a mindset thing. So like I'm saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or they become immune. But that is wrong, because from the health professional, they go to the hospital and report issues of diarrhea, issues of malaria. So it's directly linked. And like I said, this is a sanitation problem that is fast becoming a health crisis if it's not already. But I think, and I'm so convinced, that it's again brought to the fore issues around the need to relook at urban planning priorities.
Yeah, I think there's low government priority when it comes to this
Absolutely.
issue.
We are
incompetent planning for sanitation projects.
We are growing. You travel, you look at certain communities, and you are amazed, like the building standards are all the same, right? So if it's wood, everybody's using wood. They leave a certain space for a lawn. The road, it is properly and clearly laid out. But we don't see same here. Every single second, there's a slum springing up somewhere, even in very affluent communities, right? Like East Legon, like Cantonment. It will shock you to know that somewhere, somehow, in some of these areas, there's like a burgeoning slum. So I think that this is also a clear failing on the part of the local assembly. They are supposed to be able to monitor these things in real time, so much that if a community springs up somewhere or a settlement springs up somewhere that is not, proper, they should be able to, they have the monitoring system in place to say that, no, let's clamp this down. But they sit aloof, they watch, sometimes they even go and take money from these people,
Right.
you know, and for that reason, they lack that moral authority to go after them in some of these instances. So I think urban planning really, you know, and the political will to put in place or enforce
Right.
legislation,
Right.
you know, to guard against some of these things.
Right. We actually have Florence Kuchi, who's the director of the public health at the AMA, joining us on the phone. Hi, Florence.
Hi, Chris.
How are you? You're welcome to the show.
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. So what are your thoughts on the worsening case of sanitation when it comes to the Konkomba market?
Thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to say good morning to your service viewers. So, you know, sanitation as it stands is not a one-man business. Sanitation is a collective effort. Wherever you find human beings, you find waste. And if that waste is not managed properly, that is where it becomes a situation. So it is not that the person is not working. People are working. You see, when you visit somebody's house this morning and the person sleeps, and tomorrow you go back and the person hasn't slept, there wouldn't be difference between yesterday and today. Waste generation is a work in progress. So it means every day we need to put our hands on it. That is why we seem to think that some people are not doing their job well. But believe you me, environmental officers, for that matter, district assemblies are doing very great job.
Hello, Florence.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello. Hello, Florence. All right, I think there's a challenge there, and we will get to connect with her later on the show. But yeah, she said like they are actually doing what they are supposed to do. But I feel like, you see, okay. Hi, Florence.
Yes, hi.
Yes, you can continue.
Yes. So as I'm saying, so it's all bounce back. You see, people are supposed to register and pay for the waste they generate. But people are refusing to register and pay for the waste they generate. You go to areas, people hoard refuse in their homes. And when it is raining, they bring out these refuse and come and dispose them into the drains. That needs to flood them. This one, is it the doing of the authority, or the doing of the government, or the doing of the individual? That is why I said we all need to play our part when it comes to sanitation.
Right.
People burn waste indiscriminately.
Right.
And burning of waste does not just have an impact on poor sanitation, also has an impact on the air we breathe.
True. You talked about people paying for the waste that they generate. Can you expatiate on that? How does it work?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, in 2008, Ghana came out with a policy by name Polluter Pay System. It means anyone that generates waste must pay for the waste that you generate for it to be disposed. And you do so by registering with an accredited waste collection company.
Okay.
This accredited waste company also employ people who deal in traffic so that they can help them to go into how to reach areas that their trucks cannot go in. And you need to have a waste container. You who is generating the waste must have a waste container in your house. So that when you generate the waste, you can put in the waste for it to be lifted from you. And that was done, we were practicing the linear waste management system. Now we are moving or transitioning from the linear waste management system into the circular economy. The circular economy is a way that when you generate your waste at source, you store the waste and put them into license. Those that are recyclable can be sent to recyclable waste recycling plant for recycling. And through that, you yourself, you can generate some form of financial gain from the waste that you have segregated. And also, those that are organic, we can turn them into organic manure. And this manure can be channeled into our backyard garden for us to grow vegetables and feed ourselves. So there's some money that you could have spent
your backyard garden, you will get free food products for your backyard garden, and that money can be used to do a different thing. It is all leading to improvement of what? Development and productivity. But
Yeah.
we are not seeing these things.
Right.
It is a crime to not to register with a waste collecting company. It is a crime to live in a house without a waste bin.
Right, right. So what about the issue of fecal matter? When we spoke to one of the guides that was, picking up the plastics, he talked about the issue of fecal matter being tied in, plastic bags and just being thrown away. What do you have to say about that? Don't you think that there should be, say, more public toilets or something like that?
Thank you very much. Public toilets are not for people who live within the community. There is a law that every house must have a toilet facility. So if you have a house that has no toilet, it is mandated that you should have a toilet. When environmental officers come across a house that does not have a toilet, we take action against you. We send you to court, and court someone orders you to get a toilet facility for the house. Because before you attain your building permit, you must make provision for toilet facility, sanitary facilities in the permit before it will be granted for you. People build the toilet and they turn the toilet into rooms. Somebody says, so what are the environmental health officers doing? The environmental health officer to the population is so huge that we are not able to reach everybody. The whole country, we just have few number above 4,000 environmental health officers. And we are going to work against 30 million people. So you can see the deficit. It can take 1 year that an environmental officer is not able to get to a particular community. That is why we keep saying the government should see preventive more important, be more proactive than the curative. Because if you keep neglecting the preventive officers, there is going to be a lot of communicable disease that we could have prevented. And it's going to lead to pressure on the healthcare facilities that we have. And money that would have been channeled for development will be channeled for the treatment of non-communicable diseases. So it's high that it is health officers. Everybody is calling for the damn sama.
Yeah.
As I'm speaking with you, I am a sama.
Interesting.
I have been a sama for the past 20 years now. Then they used to wear uniform. An environmental officer is a law enforcer. Every law enforcer is supposed to wear a uniform by law. Government has stopped providing uniforms for environmental health officers. Government has stopped giving logistics to environmental health officers.
Interesting.
When did you see somebody give environmental health officer a vehicle? Government gives environmental officer a vehicle that they should use for enforcement. Environmental officers need to be applied. We walk about 10 kilometers square every day just to spread the news of sanitation. And because we are not many, we are not able to do that. And there are officers that have completed school for the past 4 years now, and they are sitting in the houses. They are not posted. Meanwhile, we are thinking of posting sanitation guards. If you don't employ the environmental health officer and you employ sanitation guards, who is the sanitation guard coming to guard?
Interesting. Florence, well noted. You made your point around the responsibilities of citizens, residents, and that of government in terms of funding the initiatives, public health officers embark on. But kindly help me here. I'm looking at the 2021 population and housing census, right, which points to the fact that 17% of households in the country do not have any restrooms or toilet facilities. Now, we also know that in 2014, an initiative was launched by the World Bank in collaboration with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, which sought to, provide these public toilet facilities for these communities. And we know that in 2020, the program was revised. Now the question is, how many public toilets, have you as an assembly been able to provide together with the support from the World Bank within this period? Are you able to tell us?
Yes, thank you very much. So you see, the program, the the World Bank project that came, that is the Gamma Toilet Facility Program. It was to support houses that do not have toilet facilities. That is the low-income communities that cannot provide toilets for their homes. People, you go to register somebody and the person will tell you, I don't have a space to even build the toilet facility. And people want to depend on public toilets. But we keep telling the public that public toilet is not for people who are living within the community. It is for people who have traveled to those communities to go and carry out a tax. And there's no need there. So when they are pressed, they can use those facilities. But in this, our country, a lot of people want to use public toilet as their household toilet. Now the question is, if you do not have a toilet in your house, and then in the night you are pressed, what do? People will defecate inside black polythene bags and throw them away. And it leads to it contaminates the environment and produce foul smell. And foul smell at the end of the day, somebody is inhaling air that is being polluted.
Interesting. Yes, Florence, your point is well made. My question to you was the number of toilets facilities you've been able to, make available, because we know that in 2020 an additional financing phase, made available funds in the tune of $120 million, right? So my question is, how many toilet facilities have you been able to make available for these households?
In Accra, I know there were over 5,000 toilet facilities that were made available to landlords that applied for this. But there's also another thing that I want to put. These toilets were supposed to be what we call the biodigester toilet. The biodigester toilet, it must go with what we call the number of users. So when you are going to carry out the registration, it's the duty of the landlord to give you the right number of people living in their home that will assess the facility. Some people will give you a number because they don't want to pay much. Wow. So if you are 10 in the house and then you tell me that you are 5, we will give you 5 people facility. And when we give you 5 people facility and then 10 people end up using it, the facility will not rate its normal
But what structures did you put in place to check, some of these people who are trying to cut corners? And again, $120 million for 5,000 toilet facilities. That sounds quite inadequate, and I'm sure you agree.
I am talking about Accra Metropolitan Assembly, not the complete Gamma. The project was for Gamma, but I am talking about Accra Metropolitan Assembly specifically.
All right.
Because I can't vouch for the other assemblies. I can vouch for Accra Metropolitan Assembly specifically. That I am telling you.
All right. So
if Accra Metropolitan Assembly is able to make 5,000 plus, you can imagine all other 29, the remaining 28 MMDAs within the Gamma.
So have you ever thought of compositing toilets?
Please come again.
Have you ever thought of compositing toilets?
Compositing toilets?
Yes, the waterless or low water toilets.
So that is what I'm saying. We are using the biodigester. The biodigester system is just like what you are saying. You understand? You use the toilet, it digests, and then the water is being treated, and you can channel it into your farm or your garden to water your plants. It's the same thing as you are saying, my sister.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time and of course, for the work you're doing. We'll send out a message on the need for more government support in the area, but we would also urge that, like you've done this morning, you go out there more in spreading the word. The other concern is that sometimes a lot of your initiatives are in the English language, but maybe this time around you can also consider, trying other communication models, trying the use of other languages, the Chi, Ga, Hausa, so that others can also understand and fully grasp the message that you are putting out. But thank you for your time this morning, Florence.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Okay,
Charlie,
so that's Florence Pucci.
Charlie, I'll go wear suit. Charlie, wear tie. I always go talking toilet. Oh, Charlie, no. I mean, the point is that we need to do better, right? Like, how can I sit on morning TV and all I'm talking about is Charlie, toilet and public toilets, some way. But the point is that
it's actually very important that
yeah,
we
I get
these
it. I get it.
discussions. And also, I think the government also needs to invest more in the composted toilet, the biodegradable one that she's talking about.
Let's say restrooms.
Okay,
restrooms. The toilet is making
well,
that in some
it's still what it is.
I look at the numbers.
Have you been to was it Take Me There? Something. Something. It's a resort.
Where's that?
In the Volta region.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've heard of it before.
Yes.
I think the caravan probably even visited there.
Yes, Take Me. I forgot the name, but it has.
What happens there?
A phrase. Their toilets. Everything there is sustainable. You don't even have TVs and things like that. Everything's sustainable, and their toilets are actually this composite toilets, and basically you don't need water.
Wow.
Yeah, you just need sawdust. And they have some chemicals in the sawdust that when you actually use the toilet, it doesn't smell.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think there should be some more investment when it comes to this sort of toilets for people in these areas. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Instead of say, okay, public toilets are going to cost this much, are going to cost that much see, the smell too. So yeah.
See, the other problem also is, like I said, see, I'm so convinced that this is an urban planning issue. We've closed our eyes to it, and now we are seeing the ripple effect. And again, the kind of, assembly structure we have, because see, we've, and my boss, Godfrey Akotoboafo, puts this perfectly, and he calls it the pizzification of Accra, right? We've made Accra so tiny that, when you say you're the mayor of Accra, you're literally just the mayor of,
an area.
Accra Central and Kaneshi and maybe Adabraka. Even Adabraka, Adabraka even have their own this thing. So we've broken it up so much that it's very little, and the impact cannot really be measured.
Right.
So initially, what an initiative, an umbrella program like Gamma, which was supposed to address household public toilet concerns would have been able to achieve with this. Now we see that
you have to break it into
you have
so
to
many
break it
parts.
down, and the tracking becomes a
It's
problem. So I don't know what went into it. The idea was probably to decentralize the process, but I think in doing that we've also encountered some challenges that we've not been able to find proper solutions to. So I think that we need to relook this. And we talk about Accra, but you go to the northeast region, for example, where the lack of restrooms or toilet facilities is 80%. So it's we are discussing it because this report was filed in Accra, but it's a national problem.
Right,
we don't have public toilets or enough public toilets in the country.
Right.
And as a government, this should be a major priority.
Right. And I think there should be a little bit more awareness on the issue of sanitation. There should be more awareness on that, on how people dump their refuse, on how people throw trash, on how, because it's that little thing that you do from your car that causes big problems like this. Just throw it.
Sanda has an interesting story.
So I think it's important that maybe they put up billboards again. It's in our faces, it's on the radio, it's, and people will adjust.
Yeah.
Because there used to be a time, some years ago, years ago when I was a kid, and when you're coming to Accra, or when we're coming to Accra from Togo, they tell you, oh, that Accra is so clean that when you throw something out of the window, the police is going to catch you.
Not lie.
No, but it was...
At that time, it was.
But it was like that in our heads. That's how we all felt. So you can't throw anything. So if you buy stuff, even if you buy ice cream, we have to keep the wraps and wait till you throw it, because there was that sort of awareness. I don't know how the awareness started, but that's how we coming inside Accra or coming into Ghana felt.
See, I'm going to say this, right? And I think it's also training, because back in school in Accra Academy, and I'm sure a lot of people who went to the school would attest to it. See, for some reason, the campus was really clean, because it was it was a message every morning, you don't have to litter. Keep the litter in your pocket, keep in your bag. You get to where a dustbin is, you drop it. It was so clearly spelled out that it became like a part of us, right? And I think going forward, we should do that. And Chris, I make a point also that the way we communicate these initiatives, right? Sometimes we go and get a funding, then we do one big English advert, you're playing on ChannelOne TV.
Yeah.
No, but like,
Yeah.
again, we need to be very critical and nuanced with the way we put it out. Because maybe the people watching ChannelOne TV are not necessarily the people in some of these environments, right? So you need to speak their language.
Definitely not the ones throwing the trash in those environments.
To shock you, sometimes people wear the suit and tie, even the worst. But the point is that, like, we should be very nuanced in the approach. We should speak their language. We should go to them. So I again agree with Florence that government needs to be doing more. Local government,
And
like,
I could hear the pain in her voice.
Back in the day, there was this advert of like the woman who was pounding fufu, you know, and went to use the washroom, and they depicted the germs with like the purple thing. You know, that I'm still referencing that advert 20 years down the line, right? So when was the last time you saw an advert like that on public health?
No.
Exactly.
No.
You know, another one too they did. Malaria free future. You know, when the children are singing, you know, I can't even do the dance. You know, I won't do it this morning. But the point is that, you see, all of those things stuck with us.
Yeah.
You get it. So like now when you see, what's it called? Is it like water that is
stagnant water?
Stagnant water. Yeah.
Stagnant.
What is it?
Stagnant.
What is it? Stagnant water.
Yeah.
You know, you are now like, you are conscious. Like, actually, no, a mosquito, is it larva or pupa?
Larva, yeah.
My teacher, she died early, forgive me. So the mosquito larva is, you know, you are conscious, you know, and you take action. So I think that we need to take our mind back to some of these things in the past.
Yeah, you see, that's why, like we're all saying, that's why it's important that maybe there should be a national campaign that will create awareness.
But we don't have money. You know, that's
we always keep saying we don't have money.
That's the truth.
So
you know, the money, you know, they're using it for something else.
Well, we have messages concerning this issue that we talked about. Hi, please, the word toilet is a very genuine word. In UK, they don't use words like restroom or gents or ladies. Toilet is fine. And this is by someone called
No, but you see, if you go to like Accra Sports Stadium's washroom, you know, and you go to like Accra Academy, the boys' dormitory, you know, that is
okay, so there's a washroom, there's a toilet.
So the toilets, when you say it, like I picture the other ones.
Last one here is, good morning, my name is Osman. This is the most dirtiest place I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And the plastic must be abandoned.
Absolutely.
But you know what? We're not giving shout out to a certain group of people. That guy that was picking up the trash with his team, shout out to them. They were picking plastic for recycling. I think those people doing that are really saving us in a certain way. Whether we like,
but it's on a very small scale.
Yes.
It's you know, it is small.
Because he said the government needs to help. I don't know how the government can help them.
Yeah,
with that,
so like I'm saying, we have the Pone site, and I think we have another landfill site. See, by this time, the conversation should be about putting in place some engineering infrastructure to recycle this on like a large, because other countries are doing it. I'm not an expert in the area, so I won't come and sit there and pretend like I'm some, you know, I know it all. But the point is that other countries are doing it, right?
Yeah.
So we should be able to recycle these plastics. In fact, the brand Adidas, I have a sneaker from Adidas.
That's made from recycled plastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was picked up from the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, of course, it will be expensive to do something like that. But if we are minded about what our priorities are and minded about the health implications this could have on us as a people,
right.
we should look at it.
And I think this also brings the issue of sustainability. This whole talk that we're having is under sustainability. People need to start living or practicing sustainable living, especially I would like to say especially the rich. Yes. You need to be sustainable. You need to start living sustainably and reusing. You understand? There are things in your house you can actually reuse. There are things in your house that you can actually recycle. Do you understand? So I think people just need to start living sustainably. If you go to certain countries, even, well, I'm saying certain, just Cote d'Ivoire here. Do you know when you go to Cote d'Ivoire and you enter their mall and you probably buy something as... Nobody's going to put in a plastic bag for you. If you want a plastic bag, then you're going to pay for it.
Which makes sense, right?
Yes.
So you make it so like a sin tax, but not necessarily a sin tax. But
so
like,
when you're coming there, you just bring your own bag. So people go to the supermarket with their own bags. So there's all these shopping bags.
Chris, you've traveled quite a bit on the continent. Let me take your thoughts on this. So there was a tweet yesterday by a user. I'm trying to pull it back. I don't have their actual account, but I generated quite some talk around it. And the post essentially said that if you travel around the continent, Accra is like the New York of West Africa.
Oh no, come on.
Yeah, and
Well,
you know, it almost divided public opinion. I'm
Accra
interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, Accra.
In terms of like sanitation and like, you know.
Accra, the New York of this thing.
West Africa.
West Africa. I think they'll be sharing that with Lagos.
Really?
Yes. Lagos also
And you know
has
the funny
that,
thing?
like Lagos also has like very...
I had Selom, you know Selom Adon, right? Yeah. So he went to Nigeria one time and also had an interesting view around the way Nigeria looks like. You know, there are two sides, right?
Yeah, exactly. There are two sides.
You know,
There's a very fine side and there's a very...
Which side of Nigeria is you really fine? Is it like the Ikeja?
Yeah, Ikeja is like in the middle.
But they have this place they call...
The island.
Yeah, what's it called? The
Victoria Island,
Victoria Island,
the Banana Islands, the Ikoyis. They have like a very highbrow area. Yeah. And the mainland, there are places in the mainland that are...
So there, you know, and there's this other lady who is called Nomadic Ajwa.
Yeah.
She's a travel enthusiast.
Yeah.
You know, and she traveled to some West African countries and sort of agreed with the original post, but said there was a context, right? And the other point was that people said, see, if you go to Gambia, you go to...
Oh, Gambia is neat.
You go to
Gambia,
Benin.
Senegal is neat.
You go to...
Benin is neat. Even Togo is neat.
Than Accra.
Yeah. Because I think, well, Togo and Benin, they are smaller, they are well managed. Do you understand?
Is Togo neater than Accra?
Lomé is very small, so I would say it's neater compared to what we see.
Okay, so Lomé as the capital city.
Yes.
Is it more orderly than Accra?
More orderly, well, yeah.
Bernard said one time he was shocked as how all the Okada riders had like identification, had helmets, they were riding properly.
And you know, I think it's still because of that French influence.
Yeah. So Accra can be the New York of West Africa.
When you say New York, which part of New York are we talking about?
Definitely not Queens. Definitely not Queens. But I mean like the Times Square.
Oh, come on. No.
You know, sometimes you go through like Oxford Street, you see all like the bright light. You know, see, one time I went to, I think the airport or so, and I saw like Accra skyline,
We have, well, like, if you go to Abuja, then you also say the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's your
if you go
final,
to Dakar,
what's your
Dakar
final
will also
verdict?
be the same thing in some parts.
So we can't be the New York of Africa.
I don't think you're the New York of Africa.
In terms of sanitation.
In terms of sanitation, no.
Because I'm watching, so I hear it and I listen to people's opinion. Then I come back and sit here and I'm looking at this level of filth. And I'm like, if this is in Accra, then Charlie...
No, you know, when people say travel, it depends on where you are traveling to. It depends on where you're going to when you travel.
Yeah.
How long do you even explore? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire is very neat, though.
And again, Accra,
This
Cote
d'Ivoire right here.
Yeah, but people
Cote
also
d'Ivoire is
brought
actually
out
very
the
neat.
other side of Cote d'Ivoire. I was shocked. See, they played the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, and I was amazed by the level of infrastructure road,
and how beautiful it is.
and the lighting system. Like, every street was lit. But somebody was like, maybe it's because of the AFCON. I don't know. I've not been there before. But the point again is, you know, if this is the level of filth here, and we are saying that is the New York of Charlie, the other countries, I'm like, I don't even want to imagine.
Honestly, I think in Africa, we always have the fine places and the...
Charlie, somebody's doing goyi in the
We've
thing.
had a very long conversation. The producers just want us to leave the show right now, but we want to say a very